Okay, I'm going to tie a beacon beige this afternoon. I've got a size 16 Hayabusa up high dry fly hooking the vise here. I've taken the barb off this. I'm using yellow nano silk and I have put some wax on this. It's so slippery, the nano silk, that without some wax on it it'll tend to rotate the materials around the hook. The tails for this fly are a combination of a furnace and a few grizzle hackles. Length about the length of the hook. On a decent number of hackles in here. This is the only thing that's giving this fly support at the back. So let's just tie those in and spread them a little bit. Then for the body, it calls for stripped peacock quill. I stripped this one earlier. And to get the really nicely segmented part, I'm going to tie this in fairly well down the feather. And again, I'm taking the thread up to about between about two thirds of the way up the shank. Snip off that little tag. To wind the peacock, because it's so fragile, I like to just to put a little bit of varnish on the silk, and can use super glue, use anything, and then just carefully wind the hackle over the wet varnish. Usually get 5 or 6 turns. Usually 2 turns with the thread should be sufficient just to hold that. Snip off the tag, and then just to really bring out the segments and strengthen this again, I'm going to put a little bit more varnish over the body there. And the next thing to do is just to leave this to dry. If I was tying several of these flies up, I'd tie the silk up at this stage, hang that up and let it dry, do several in one go. So the varnish is dry enough now, and the hackles for this fly, again I'm going to use 2 hackles. I'm going to use a furnace and a grizzle hackle, and I like to tie these in both together if I can. So I'll strip the last few fibres off, tie them both in at the tying point, and as far as neatly creating a hackle is concerned, I found that one of the crucial areas is to make sure that the area that the hackle is tied into is nicely neat. So I'm going to take the furnace hackle first, just because this was the front one. Take it behind the grizzle hackle, fairly open turns, 3 will do, sufficient there. Bend the stalk, three turns over to lock that in place, and then take the grizzle hackle through. Give that one 4 turns. Again, right angle bend, keeping the thread tight. 3 turns around there. Then I can fold everything back. A few turns just to at the head there, and then a whip finish. Always going to get some of these little fibres just misbehaving. 4 turns, pull tight, pull tight, trim off the thread, trim off the stalks, cut off any errant fibres, smarten that up a bit. And that's a really good generic dry fly, which will imitate any small upwing flies pretty much that are coming off during the season.